Hi CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today I'm going to show you how to make this pretty Mother's Day card. Of course, it could be a card for any time or anyone that you wanted to make it for, but I did it for Mother's Day, and we've got a pretty bouquet of flowers with a tissue paper holder for them, and then this is on a piece of watercolor paper actually, but you could use cardstock or anything that you have, and then it just opens up and you can write anything you want in there. Okay, so I would like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell below if you haven't already so that you can get notified of my future videos. And please like and share. Sharing helps more than anything, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into our materials. So for today, I am using a 3.75 millimeter hook. If you don't have this, you could go down to a 3 or a 3.5 or a 4. You know, it's really not going to make that big of a difference, but I use this because it was the perfect size for these flowers. So you want to try to at least stay close to it if you're doing the card exactly like mine. Remember that if you change your yarn size or your hook size, you're either going to get a bigger flower or you're going to get a smaller one. So that will affect your project. Also, I'm using a weight 3 yarn. Okay, so I'm not using a weight 4, I'm using a weight 3. Again, you can use the weight 4, but your flowers are going to be bigger and they're going to be bulkier. So just keep that in mind. Okay. I am using a piece of watercolor paper. This watercolor paper is 11 by 15, and I just simply folded it in half. I'm also using a hot glue gun to put my flowers on and my paper. You can use any kind of glue you want. It's just hot glue works quick at setting. I used tissue paper for this, and what I did is I took several different colors. I cut it into a box, and then I folded it together to make a triangle, and then I glued this on as well, and then I used a little piece of yarn at the end to make a little bow. You could use actual ribbon. Again, this is a great project to make your own. I'm going to show you how to make the flower. I'm going to show you how to put it on and put it together, but really this is a great project to really give your own flair to for your gift, whoever you're making this for. But you will also need a darning needle, a pair of scissors. That's all. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make these flowers, and then I'm going to show you how to make the little flower bells that I put in the middle and that came down a little bit onto the wrapper here for the flowers. And what we're going to do first is we're going to make a magic circle. And we're going to chain 2. That chain 2 doesn't count as anything, just giving you the height that you need. And then you're going to do 16 double crochets into your magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 16. And then after you do your last double crochet there, you can pull your circle really tight, and then you're going to slip stitch into your first double crochet, not the chain 2, but the first double crochet. You're going to slip stitch into the top of that to bring this circle together. Okay, then you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then you're going to skip your next stitch and go into the next and put a slip stitch. So this is important right here. After you've chained 4, it almost looks like this is a stitch right here, right there, but it's not. It's part of this. It's part of where we slip stitched. So we want to skip this one and go into the next one and put a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 3. We're going to skip the next stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to skip a stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 3. 2 and 3, skip your next stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. So you're just going to keep doing that all the way around, alternating the 4 and the 3. So now we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then you're going to skip a stitch, go into the next, and put a slip stitch. Chain 3, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, put a slip stitch. Chain 4, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch, and then chain 3, and you're going to skip this stitch and work into where we slip stitched right here for the beginning. Okay, so like where you came up out of this stitch for the chain of 4, you're going to slip stitch right into there. Okay, and that's what it looks like. Then you're going to slip stitch into this chain of 4. The first chain of 4 we did, you're going to slip stitch into that so that we can work into there. Then you're going to chain 3. This chain of 3 does count as your first double crochet. Then into this chain 4 space, you're going to make 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you're going to go into this chain 3 space and you're going to make a slip stitch. Then you're going to go into your chain 4 space and you're going to make 8 double crochets. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to go into your next stitch, your chain 3 stitch right here, and you're going to make a slip stitch. And then you're going to go into your chain 4 space and you're going to double crochet 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you're going to slip stitch into your next chain 3 space, and then into the next chain 4 you're going to put 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then into this next chain 3 space, you're going to make a slip stitch. Okay, and so that's the beginning of this flower. You've got 4 petals, 1, 2, 3, 4. You've slip stitched in between those to bring them down. And so now we're going to turn our work over. So pull up your loop like this, just so it doesn't come undone. And we're going to turn it over to the back. Okay, I want to make sure that my yarn is like this, not like this, but it's just falling over here. And then we're going to go right in between these 2 spaces right here, and we're going to bring this loop down through this. Okay, so right in between this space and this space, we're going to bring our loop through just like that, and then we're going to chain. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, then we're going to go in between our next space, which is really close to here. So right here, in between here and here, we're going to pull our hook through like this, and we're going to do a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to go in between here and here and make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to go in between this space right here and you're going to make a single crochet. So go behind here, pull through, and do a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. and you're going to go in between this space and make a single crochet. And now you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to go in between this space and make a single crochet. And then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to go in between this place and make a single crochet. Then you're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to go in between this place and make a single crochet. And then you're going to chain 3. And after you chained 3, you're going to actually join to the first stitch of your first chain of 5. So right in here in the base of this chain of 5, you're going to go through, pull through, and make a single crochet. Okay? So now you've alternated chains of 5 and chains of 3 going all the way around. Now we're going to turn our work again, facing the front. So now I'm going to turn my work facing this way, and I'm going to slip stitch into this first chain of 3 right here, or actually it would have been the last chain of 3 that we did. We're going to slip stitch right into there, just like that. And then we're going to go into our next space, this chain of 5 space, and we're going to make 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you're going to slip stitch into your next chain of 3 space. Then you're going to go into this next chain of 5 space, and you're going to make 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you're going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space, and then you're going to go into your next space and work 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you're going to go into your next chain 3 space and make a slip stitch. Then you're going to go into your next chain of 5 space, and you're going to make 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then you're going to not slip stitch or anything now because you slip stitched here at the beginning. So now you're just going to turn your work again. Pull your loop out so it doesn't come undone. And I'm going to show you where we're going to do the same thing again like we did in the last one, but we've moved a little bit over. So we're going to go all the way over here, and we're going to work in between this space. So I'm going to put my hook through here, just like that. And I'm going to bring this loop through. So I'm going to put that loop back onto my hook, and I'm going to pull this through here. And when we do that, that causes this work to kind of fold in on itself and look very 3D, okay? And so we're going to do, you could keep it at that if you wanted to, but I'm going to do one more row. That's what I did for mine. And I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, I'm going to my next space right here, and I'm going to make a single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to go into my next space right there, and I'm going to single crochet working around that. Then I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to go through my next space. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to work around my next space. and I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I'm going to go around my next space, make a single crochet, chain 3, and we're just going to keep repeating this all the way around. 2, 3, 4, and 5 to my next space. And then for our last one, I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to join at the base of this first chain of 5 we did with a single crochet. Then I'm going to turn my work around facing me. And when I do that, I've got this chain of 3 right here. I'm going to go right into there and work a slip stitch. Then I'm going to go into my next chain of 5 space, and I'm going to work 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I'm going to go into my chain 3 space, and I'm going to make a slip stitch. Then I'm going to go into my next chain of 5 and make 8 double crochets. So you're just going to keep alternating all the way around doing that, putting a slip stitch in your chain of 3s, and then putting 8 double crochets in your next. And then when we get close to the end of that round, I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so we just finished our last 8 double crochets here, and you want to pull your yarn out. You want to turn your work over, and we're still going to bring this forward to make it pull up. So we want to go right into here, pull this loop through, just like that. And now we can cut off. So now we're going to cut off, leaving enough to work in. So then you're going to pull this through with a chain 1 just to close. And then you're going to work both of your ends in, okay? So let's go ahead and work in our ends, and then I'll come right back, and then I'm going to show you how to do the little flower. Okay, so I've worked in my ends, and this is the beautiful little flower we have. And again, this is exactly how I did mine. I just made them in different colors. You could, I think the light and the dark really looks good in like this bouquet of flowers here, okay? So now I'm going to show you how to make this little petal, these little bells that I have coming down. Make a magic circle. And then into this magic circle, I'm going to put 6 half double crochets. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I'm going to pull tight, and I'm going to slip stitch into my first half double crochet that I did, just like that. Then I'm going to chain 1, and this first stitch right here, I'm going to put 1 single crochet, and the next stitch I'm going to put 1 single crochet, and I'm just going to do 1 single crochet all the way around for a count of 6. Just like that. And then I'm going to join to my first single crochet, not my chain of 1, for a slip stitch. And then you can turn this out because we made this little bowl here. So we're going to turn it inside out where it's facing the right way, and then I'm going to chain 1 again, and then I'm going to go right into the place that I just slip stitched, and I'm going to put 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. And then I'm going to put 2 single crochets in my next stitch, 1 and 2, and 2 into my next. And so you want 12 single crochets all the way around, putting 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. Remember, this space right here is like a little fake space. You're not going to work into that because it's part of where you did your slip stitch and your chain of 1. So then you're going to go into your first single crochet that you did and make a slip stitch. And so this is what it looks like. And then you're going to do chains all the way around. So you're going to chain 3. You're going to skip a stitch, go into your next stitch, and do a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 3, skip 1 stitch, go into the next, and do a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 3 again. You're going to skip a stitch, go into the next stitch. Then you're going to chain 3 again, skip a stitch, go into the next stitch. So you're just doing that all the way around. Skip a stitch, go into the next. And then for our last chain of 3, we're going to skip a stitch and go into this last stitch that was part of our space I said to not work into. So you're going to work into that there, and then this is what you're going to be left with. So it's going to look just like this, okay? And then I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to chain 1 to close. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this working in through the middle, but I'm going to cut it off right at the very end. So it's still poking through the front like that. So there's still just a little piece, just like a little flower. It's just poking through. And then I'm just going to work this piece in, okay? So I'll be back in just a minute after I work my piece in, and then I'm going to show you how to do the actual card. Okay, so now we're going to actually make the card. And like I told you, we're using this piece, I'm using this piece of watercolor paper. You could use, like I said, cardstock or anything that you have. But to make it as big as what I've made it, you do need a bigger size of cardstock. Like I said, this was 11 by 15. So I'm going to just fold this in half. Really easy there. I'm going to turn it over, make sure it's facing the way that you can open the card like this. And then I'm going to take my tissue paper, and I've got my tissue paper, so I've already got it, it's already several colors together. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut and make a square, okay? So, you know, this is standard size tissue paper, and I'm just making a square. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just like that. Want it to fold in like this, like you're making a cone, okay? Just like that. And then it will sit like this, okay? And then I still need to get it to fit the card. I'm going to cut off the bottom down here, and then I'll cinch it up after that. So right where it hits the bottom, I want to cut off. Just like that. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this side in, and I'm going to fold this side in to where they're halfway up, like this. And then I'm going to bring my ribbon in, my yarn ribbon. And again, you can use real ribbon for this if you have it. And then you can make a bow. And then what you can do if you want to is you can fold this down so that you can see all these colors as well, okay? And so then you've made a nice little bouquet there. And then all you're going to do is use your glue gun, and you're going to place these flowers all throughout here, however you want them placed. Here's my little thing. And I just will take my glue gun, place the glue on the back of the flower at these 3 places right here, and then I would put it on, and then I would set these. I had these running down the side here, right here. Okay, so that's how you do it. I hope that helps. If you have any questions or anything, don't hesitate to ask below in the comment section. But if you're not comfortable with that, you can find that I have a Gmail, I have a TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and hey, come visit me over there as well. And yeah, but I would be glad to help if you need any help. And I'll see you again soon, guys. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.